Spider-Man No Way Home is a masterpiece. This movie has everything that I ever wanted in a movie, which I'm pretty sure is what a lot of people want in a movie. You want great storytelling, which this movie has a phenomenal story that connects every single Spider-Man movie from the past and brings it into the present, and it makes sense. Like, when you see the trailer, you're probably thinking, oh, it's just nostalgia. Oh, we see Dr. Octopus. Oh, we see Electro, all these old characters. Oh, yeah, nostalgia. Yes, it's that. But on top of that, it serves a purpose. There's a reason why these characters are here. So it's beautifully executed. It's beautifully told. There's a morality to everything that is happening on screen from beginning to end. So the story is absolutely solid. It's a solid story. I didn't find any problems. I have no complaints about the story. It's emotionally impactful from the very opening shot to the very last frame of the movie. There's so many different emotions that I was feeling as the story was progressing. My emotions, I was crying, I was sad, I was happy, I was excited. It's an emotional roller coaster ride that I am 100% invested in. And then the performances from everybody, from Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, from Tom Holland as Spider-Man, from Zendaya as MJ, to every single villain that comes back from the previous movies. Every single actor in this movie delivers a believable performance. No one comes to this show half-assing anything. Everyone shows up to play. Everyone shows up to be like, hey, this is my character, this is who I'm portraying, and they sell it to make it believable as believable can be. And then the special effects. The special effects are amazing. Like, normally my complaint with these Marvel movies are the special effects are never 100%. You go into the movie expecting this action spectacle, and you get that, but then when you're watching it on screen, you're just kind of, your mind is kind of out of it because you're saying to yourself, well, this doesn't look 100% real. Like, the CGI, it looks like a video game. The characters look fake. Even though it's CGI, make it look believable. I mean, if Jurassic Park can create dinosaurs that look real, then why can't the MCU create superheroes and costumes that look believable? You know, when we saw the first Iron Man, that Iron Man suit looked real. I thought this guy was actually really flying, you know? And then when you watch Infinity War or Spider-Man Homecoming or even Black Panther, you look at the special effects and you say, they could have done better with that. But then from what we know as Marvel fans and people who research this stuff and look it up, Marvel, you know, they just pump out movie after movie after movie because it's a business and they want to make a profit. So they rush their special effects team to finish, you know, the VFX before the movie comes out. They have a deadline to make, and then when the VFX come out during the final product of the movie, the VFX look like, they don't look 100% terrible, but it doesn't look real, you know? It kind of takes me out of the movie. But with this, I don't know if it was COVID, you know, holding the film back and pushing it back or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but the VFX in this movie look 100% real. Like, when you see William Dafoe's face, and we know he's in this movie, you see him in the trailer. When you see William Dafoe's face, like, there's this one scene where he's given this, there's so many great one-liners in this movie. There's a scene where William Dafoe is selling his ass off in this movie. Like, I haven't seen a character this menacing since Heath Ledger's Joker in Dark Knight. Like, William Dafoe is a thespian, as Jamie Foxx said. William Dafoe is just the most greatest, he's one of the greatest actors of all time. He's the GOAT, man. He's like William Dafoe, dude. Like, that guy can play crazy. Like, no, like Woody Harrelson or like Heath Ledger, he can play crazy. He can play crazy. And he can also play a person who's confused and stuff. So, like, it's great. But yeah, there's a scene where William Dafoe is giving this speech, and it's very intense. And then you look at his face and you're like, okay, clearly it's CGI because he doesn't look that young anymore, because they make all of the villains look younger with CGI. But then when you're looking at his face as he's giving this speech, it's like, okay, I'm not really concentrating on the CGI. I mean, I kind of notice it, but I don't because it blends in perfectly. It's it's not too much CGI to the point where it's distracting. It's just enough to where it's like, okay, I understand. But William Dafoe, man, just makes you look past all of that. His performance is phenomenal throughout the entire thing. And then the music in this movie, like there are multiple scenes in this movie where I'm like, holy shit, this soundtrack is amazing. Like the musical score. I have to look up the guy's name. His name is let me see here. Give me 1 second. His name is Michael Giacchino, and he's the musical composer of this movie. And each and every scene has its own musical flair. Like there's a scene where Peter Parker, Tom Holland, gets the idea to be like, hey, maybe Doctor Strange can fix all of this, and that's in the trailer. And he goes to Doctor Strange, and there's this one shot where the camera, John Watts too, fantastic directing in this movie. Like, you know, he's come a long way as a director. I've seen his cop car movie with Kevin Bacon. I've seen all his Spider-Man movies, but with this, it's like, bro, this is another level of directing because each and every scene has its own life attached to it. Because there's a scene where he goes to see Doctor Strange, and the camera's at this low angle, following Peter Parker from behind, and then as the camera's following Peter, you see the shot of the, I don't know, what do they call it? The sanctum that's in New York, and you see it, and it's like the house looks really big, and then the music's playing, and there's this flute in the background. It kind of feels like some mystical fairy music or like some Harry Potter stuff, you know. Then there's like another scene, you know, with the Doctor Strange stuff, and it's kind of creepy, and they played like this really ominous music and stuff, and just the musical score throughout this whole thing really intensifies each and every single sequence. I have no real complaints about this movie. The story is solid, the acting is solid, the musical score is solid, the editing is solid, everything is solid. The only complaint I have is that towards a certain portion of the movie, there's this one-on-one fight that takes place, and it's a little choppy, where it was a little disorienting. You know, I wish they could have done it a little better. You know, it was intense, but I was like, I wish there was more of it. I wish this movie were longer. This movie should have been longer, man. Like, I really wanted, this should have been a 3-hour movie, man, because everything in here, it was tight, it was action-packed, but the action wasn't disorienting, besides that one-on-one fight in a certain portion of the movie. The action scenes were crisp and clear. I can see everything that's happening. I can establish the geography of the sequence and learn and figure out where everything is at. And it's just all the way around. I was blown away. I was like, holy shit. Like, from the very opening all the way to the end, it was intense, emotional roller coaster ride of just action, emotion, you know, just everything. Everything you can ask for in a movie, from the visuals to the acting, special effects, the story, everything in here is solid. Every single thing. I have no complaints other than that. The action scene, that was the one-on-one fight, was a bit choppy, and the movie should have been longer. Other than that, this is a masterpiece. This movie's a masterpiece. I'm serious. This movie, like, holy shit. I did not expect this at all. It's a masterpiece, man. That's what I feel. Like, I have no complaints. I really have no complaints. It was solid. It was a solid movie. I love this movie. What more can I say? Solid movie. I love Spider-Man No Way Home. That's all I have to say. Great directing, great everything. Great music, great directing, great music, great acting, great performances, great visual effects. Everything in here is solid. That's all I have to say.